Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
And crash. You son
Oh, God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. That guy over there is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. We made it our mission to help you own it. Fat Man Zoom, who we got for the starting five?
What's up, people? Starting five, we have, I'm going to say this right. I know I'm going to hit it spot on, and you tell me if it's right. Ralph Vandenhoek. Tell me I didn't say that right.
I always butcher it.
Ralph Vandenhoek. Did I say it right? Sam Cisneros, Lickajon, Funny Pranks Gone Wrong. What's up, Nate? And Rudy Brown. You are starting five. But I got two other people to shout out. Jeff Chow, Jeff Parnika, two Jeffs. It's their birthday today. Happy birthday, friends.
Oh, bro. I didn't even know it was Jeff Chow's birthday, but both of the Jeffs, happy birthday. Very different age ranges.
Yes, sir.
Not trying to call any of the Jeffs out, just saying.
Not my B-Day, my anniversary. Oh, wait, hold on, Jeff. Is it your birthday or? They say anniversary, I guess, depending on where you are.
Oh.
Either it is your anniversary, or in some cultures, they say anniversary
Feliz
instead of birthday.
cumpleaños.
So, either way. Now,
it's a special day, one way or the other.
7 years to second wife, so it looks like it's an anniversary. First wife was the worst investment I ever made. That's hilarious.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and Rudy Brown, finally a day where Drive Shack didn't do well. Thinking about doubling down on your drops. We will potentially discuss that, what's going on.
Yeah.
Maybe community buy. We have a community buy today, people. We talked about it.
Yep.
We're going to buy something on the channel live. We're going to at least put the order in.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. But make sure you stick around for that. I'm just looking through the chats. Some people are talking about Facebook. Just shifted to Facebook and Delta Strand. Yeah, so we're going to talk about a lot of stocks that have came back. So we have some comeback stocks today.
Yeah.
Looking like basically this time last year, the same stocks
Sure feels like
rolling.
it. Yeah.
Some news on Tesla, potentially. We got a lot of good topics, but how's the market treating you today, man?
I'm getting smacked right now today. But, a lot of this has to do with, obviously, there's some fears on this Delta strain that seems to be popping up all over the place. And so people are getting a little bit nervous. The market is reacting. And to me, I think it's probably a little bit of an overreaction. You know, one of the things that we talk about all the time is that, and we mentioned this last week, that investors right now, I think, are just looking for reasons to sell because, the market's just been going up like crazy. Even last week, we saw record high after record high. So, something had to have happened to give them a reason to sell. And that's what it feels like. It seems like a really big overreaction. And that isn't to say that this Delta strain shouldn't be taken seriously. But the fact of the matter is, and, just going through some of the research, Fundstrat put a piece out too about how, if you're vaccinated, it's not really that much of a issue necessarily. If you're not vaccinated, it seems as if you're at greater risk. But I would argue that's probably the case no matter what strain of COVID you have. But it is something that should be taken seriously from a personal health standpoint. I don't think it should be taken as seriously from an investment standpoint. The economy is still going to reopen. I don't think that there's any issues with that. We heard reports from the UK that they're planning on fully reopening in spite of this Delta strain. So I don't think that they're necessarily as worried about it as, previous stuff. So, I mean, I think it's just one of those days you just buy the effing dip. I tell you what, though, some of the reopening plays from the pandemic, Zoom, some of the stay-at-home stuff, having a day.
Yeah. So before we get too much into the thick of that, I'm just curious as to how things are going with your account. So, rough day. So, what'd you do? I care about what you did, what you plan on doing, and what's happening due to it.
I didn't do anything. Just sat on my hands.
Are you looking at you just said today's the day to buy the effing dip. So if you're not buying today, is there anything in your account that you're looking to add to, increase positions, get out of, scale into?
Yeah, I was looking at potentially getting into or adding to OIH, which is the oil services. That actually had a pretty decent dip back down below 220. I thought for sure last week after it had a move from its 220 to 17 area that could be it. But, giving us another opportunity. So that could be something to definitely add to.
Yeah, these days are interesting. I don't want to say they're frustrating, but my account's up like 67 cents. So and if we talked about at the beginning of the year, really towards the end of last year and the beginning of the year, in anticipation of reopening plays, that we were over leveraged in tech and we were going to try to diversify our portfolio. And the thing is that these days, the old portfolio would have kicked ass.
Yeah.
But today, because of diversification and stocks are down in my account, such as like Delta Airlines down, Aeromark's down, Drive Shack's down like 6%, all because of reopening. The overall account doesn't look too pretty. For me, I'm just happy I'm like slightly green, break even.
Yeah.
But you have the other plays like Zoom's in my long term or is in my public account up over 4%. Other stocks, Fat Man Zoom stocks are crushing it. Facebook's up 4%.
Facebook, I am so happy right now.
Man, Nvidia broke $800 today. $800 is absolutely
that's crazy.
If I would have told you this time last year that Nvidia would hit 1,000 before Tesla hit 1,000, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Even the beginning of this year, if you would have said that, I'd have been like, man, you're crazy. And it might happen. Now, it's just absolutely bonkers, and obviously we know it's because of the stock split news. So we've mentioned this before. I have it in my Fat Man Zoom long-term investing account. I just continue to dollar cost average in it. I'm not in my publicly traded account, which I wish I was, but I'm expecting a massive pullback after the stock split, and you better believe I'm going to get in after that if it pulls back. And if not, I just enjoy it in the long-term investing account.
Yeah, so speaking of Facebook, same thing, right? I probably would have told you that if Facebook got to 350, it probably would struggle, have some issues getting above that resistance, and it just blew its doors off today.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with, and you mentioned it before we went live, about the FTC dismissing the antitrust complaint against Facebook. Obviously, that seems to be what's really kind of leading the charge here. So some good stuff coming with some really great companies, and because of diversification, even though I'm not having a great day, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, and I want to mention NVIDIA because people may not know this news. We've talked about NVIDIA and the ARM acquisition for some time. For those of you who don't know, NVIDIA made a huge acquisition, intended to make a huge acquisition last September. ARM, it's a UK company, and they make chips. It was a great acquisition. It hasn't been finalized. It's really just been sitting out there since September. We could go on a year before this thing gets consummated.
Yep.
Had some pushback, had some regulatory concerns, but actually today it was announced that it had some support, Broadcom being one of the companies, but there was like 3 companies that essentially supported the acquisition for NVIDIA. And so this could bode well for NVIDIA. I think this, in addition to the stock split, in addition to the tech sort of the strain and stay-at-home plays benefiting today, it all kind of came together as well for NVIDIA. That looks good, and I'm hoping actually that the ARM acquisition doesn't get finalized until well after the stock split, because that could be a catalyst for it in the future.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm not worried about it going through. Do you think that would you be concerned about that ARM acquisition getting stopped by regulators?
All I heard was consummated. No, I don't think there's going to be any issues. I think it's NVIDIA. People are reacting, or governments are reacting to NVIDIA in the same way that they're reacting to, Facebook, Google, Amazon, trying
Apple.
to quote unquote take over the world. So I think that they're just going to have to jump through some of these hoops, but I don't think that there's going to be anything stopping them from this acquisition from happening.
Yeah. Real quick, shout out to Zain Khan. Welcome to Level 1 from Qatar. Thanks, guys. You guys do an amazing job. Have helped to diversify my portfolio from 100% tech to 70-30 growth value. That's what it's all about.
I like that. Welcome to the crew, man.
Always smart to diversify. Never hurt anybody. Yeah, man. Welcome to the crew. Love, especially international players.
Yeah.
Players.
Absolutely.
I sound old, man. I sound old. I used to say that when I was younger, and it sounded cool. I just sound old when I say that.
Yeah, I watched
What a player.
I was watching, who was it? I don't know. I get sucked down rabbit holes sometimes. I was watching like a recap of somebody reacting to Glitter. You know the movie?
No.
Mariah Carey?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. What a horrible movie.
Is it a new movie or an old movie?
No, it's an old movie. It's like 1999, 2000.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah. It was
never heard
old.
of it.
Oh, bro. Just look at the cliff notes of Glitter. You don't want to watch it. It's pretty terrible. But I was just, that made me feel really old.
She's a disaster.
Yes.
All right, cool. So we have that. I mean, I think it's safe to say enjoy the tech ride. We'll enjoy the tech ride. But yes, a dip buy opportunity. I would love
On the reopening plays. is a dip buy opportunity.
yeah. So, I mean, anything that's hugely red.
Yes.
Look at your account, and if you're down 4% on something, that might be a dip buy opportunity.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's like Aramark's one I really want to go after. I'm tempted to just go full position in Drive Shack. I have a little bit more room there, and since the stock went down 6%, I have, I want to say I have 400 shares, so I can maybe scoop up 50 to 100 more shares. I might just go full position size, but I want to see what happens the next couple days. However, it's highly likely before the end of the week, I'll go ahead and do that. Now, keep in mind, next week, Monday is closed, right? Or am I wrong?
Okay. Yes, we're
4th of July.
observance of Independence Day.
Yeah, so keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
Next up, what do we got?
What did we have? Do you want to do the community buy right now?
Yeah, let's do Tesla first.
Okay, so there's some reports coming out that potentially Tesla has gotten with some Chinese engineers in their Chinese division to come up with. I mean, we've heard about this $25,000 compact car with their 4060, I think, batteries. You know what I'm talking about. And so it looks as if the compact car around 25K is going to be a hatchback, and it looks pretty good. And I didn't get an opportunity to grab a picture of it, but just go Google it. It actually looks pretty good. I like the hatch idea, and I think that that's something that could potentially do really well for Tesla. Tesla having a decent day today. The last I looked, but this is something that if they can execute properly, I think that it's going to be huge for them. And the big question is, can they make money on something that sells for 25K?
Yeah, you would know that better than I would. If they can, that's going to be massive for the company because they're going to sell so many of them.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, yeah.
So we talked about Elon's prediction that in the next year or so that Tesla could be the number one, was it Tesla Y could be the number one selling car in the world, did he say?
Yeah.
Or did he say in the U.S.?
Yeah, the Model Y he said the world, so outselling the Corolla.
Yeah, so that's going to be interesting, but they have to know that. They have to know that it's got to be profitable. Now, if it's one of those things where it's just scale, and because they're doing so many, whether the margins are thin, they'll get it, but I don't know. We'll see. The good thing they have going for them, though, is really the fact that other companies, when they try to do this economical car, really they put nothing in it, and then you have to do all these add-ons, but also they're just poor quality. And so if they can find a way to do it with their engineers and creating a product that's cost efficient, they can take over the market.
Yeah, I wonder if it doesn't matter that they don't make money on those cars. You know, like, because if it's going to get them exposure and get somebody at an entry level type of vehicle, the next time they want to upgrade and go to the next level up, if they really love their Tesla, they're going to go back and get another Tesla. And maybe it's a Model 3 that they actually do make money on, or a Model S or whatever.
Yep.
So, you know, even if the margins are much smaller, wasn't the margin? I can't remember what the margins were on the Model 3. But I mean, even if it's just a fraction of what the margins are for the Model 3, which is pretty substantial, much greater than all the other car manufacturers, then I think that it almost doesn't matter how much money they make off of these compact cars, because you're just going to get a butt in the seat essentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. And just getting a customer earlier on in the life cycle that they will fall in love with that and then go on to the next one naturally. But My only concern with that would be capacity. If all your energy now is making these cars, like, I mean, Roadster hasn't even come out. That's going to crush it. Cybertruck, by all accounts, should do really well.
Yeah.
And we've already talked about they may reach their capacity this year. And their biggest issue is increasing capacity and staying up, basically sort of up to snuff with it. That would be my only thing. You could use it as a loss leader, but at what cost? At what cost are you doing that? So, yeah, that remains to be seen. But they've shown that they're trying to do things their own way. And I think that's sort of the traditional legacy automotive model. And I think they're trying to move away from that and show that as an automotive company, which they're not, they can be profitable.
Elon Musk said that he strongly believes that the compact car is going to be the way of the future.
Yeah.
So it means no surprise that this is something that they're coming up with. I mean, you look at like Volkswagen, for example, they actually already do have a all-electric hatchback, and maybe this is something that actually competes with them. So, yeah, no surprise to see that something like this is kind of being whispered about. And if it comes out, then I think it's going to be a huge hit.
What's the deal with hatchbacks? Like, is it because it makes the car feel bigger and like then you can increase essentially the trunk space?
It's sporty, but still practical.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think hatchbacks look sexy. I think they look ridiculous.
I think it's a matter of opinion because, like, if I'm looking at a Volkswagen, Golf R32, it's like a speed demon, man. But it's like, you can also put a kayak in it if you wanted to. A small one.
What is it? It's a Golf what? Volkswagen?
Golf R32.
Because that's what I'm saying. Is my opinion is they're ugly, and so, hatchbacks. I think they look ridiculous. Oh yeah, I've seen these cars. These cars are absolutely hideous. Like, you think I'm not saying how they perform. Just looking at that car, I would be embarrassed.
For the price, I could find a sexier car for you. There's no doubt about that. But I think
do you like hatchbacks?
The fun factor and the practicality is what they look.
Would you buy a hatchback?
No, I would not buy a hatchback, but I'm not going to dog on it because I do think that I've driven them, so like they're just fun. I think it's different, like if you've actually been in one and driven one before.
I wouldn't buy one. They're ugly. Guys, tell it. If you like a hatchback, let me know, because I got to imagine not many people like them hatchbacks. And my first car was a hatchback. It was actually a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Oh, yeah, those things were great.
Yeah,
those things were awesome.
It was horrible. It was miserable. And it was stick shift before the power steering, which is like one of the most miserable experiences.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this community buy.
All right.
So, yesterday on Stockwatch Sunday, we talked about the Russell 3000 had rebalancing, and I brought 15 stocks that we've talked about positively and negatively. I know Julia Roosh, tried to come bring in the heat about Nikola. I said positive and negative. I put Tattooed Chef in there, Nikola in there. Yeah. Only that it's been topics of discussion on our channel. And I think it's interesting to point out that they put those in there. But from those, I said we're going to do a community buy today, and I sent you over 5. And before we just say which one we're going to do, I want to talk about each one a little bit, pros and cons maybe. But beyond that, also, I wanted to talk about the feedback we received, because we did also ask the community, and that was part of this decision-making process.
Yeah.
I would say that, so the 5 I gave you were Drive Shack, Car Lots, Palantir, Fubo TV, and Skills. And guys, it wasn't an easy decision, but we narrowed it down to 5, and then Brad and I talked about those 5. This was pulled also from the comments we got. Drive Shack, because of our Chaos Crew, I think was the top one. Drive Shack, Palantir, 1, 2. Those are very popular in our community. 3 was Car Lots, but there's been some sentiment around Fubo TV. I think they had that NFL deal, and Skills.
Yes.
But we, I think, pretty quickly basically decided, scaled that back to 3, Drive Shack, Car Lots, and Palantir. Why don't you just talk about why Lots and Fubo TV wouldn't be of consideration for you?
Why Lots wouldn't be?
Sorry, Fubo TV and Skills.
So for Fubo TV and Skills, Fubo, I think, has lots of potential still, but the upside, if we were looking at all of those, I was looking for something that had the most upside.
Yeah.
I think Fubo TV definitely still has potential to go up further, but I was looking for something that maybe had a little bit more to go. Maybe something that has gotten so beaten down that that makes a lot of sense. So Fubo TV, even though I still like it, I think it's a good company. I think that they have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
That was one of the big reasons we scratched that. Skills also has a ton of potential, and I think that they can continue to do well. But again, talking about upside, maybe something that's just been beaten down, that doesn't deserve to be beaten down based off of a lot of things. But Skills, I think, is a really good company. I just think that some of the other ones on the list had a lot more upside when it came to risk versus reward.
All right, so that leaves Drive Shack, Palantir, and Car Lots.
Yes.
For those of you who don't know, Drive Shack is one of my highest conviction stocks. It's been on the channel, I mean, since when? What, June? Almost a year, or a year now.
Yeah, yeah.
We've talked about it on the channel. We love this stock. This probably would be our number one community buy, but we're both in it. And I'm nearly full position size, so I thought it was...
I feel like it's a cop-out.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a cop-out, and most of you guys are in it.
Yeah.
So Drive Shack out of these 5 would be my highest conviction.
Yes, I would agree.
My second highest conviction would be Palantir, and I was surprised. I thought that was the one you were going to choose, but you didn't. I'm in Palantir. I think I'm up 40% on it. I got it's up 20. It just broke over $27 today. It's looking really good. I still think there's a lot of room to run.
Yeah.
However, I think your concerns were around just the fact that it needs to cool off a bit. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Well, that, and I mean, it's on the verge of breaking out. So it's either going to get rejected here at this resistance at 27.50, or it's going to blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, upside, we're talking about like how much room does this have to go? Even if it breaks over that resistance, does it get slowed down again by the next one? So, yeah, I mean, still tons of potential for Palantir. We love that stock.
So we wanted a stock we can buy now.
Yes.
Right now, people,
Today.
at this moment. And
Yes.
that has got to be Car Lots.
Yeah.
Wasn't an easy decision. What do you want to take, the bull case or the bear case?
I'll take the bear case.
Okay, go ahead.
I always think that giving bad news first is good. So with Car Lots, there's some issues with Car Lots, because if you guys don't know their business model, it's surrounded around providing corporations with used car fleets. So if you're a business and maybe you can't afford all new cars, maybe the used car route could be for you. And in this case, obviously, Lots could become a benefactor of some of the chip shortages because of new cars and stuff like that. And I'll let you talk about that as far as the bull case is concerned. But my big concern here is that if they have to buy used cars in order to flip them to corporations for fleets and stuff, their operating costs are probably going to be much higher as a result. And so that's kind of one of my big concerns. Obviously, they could potentially make that up with the amount of demand that is in for used cars as well. I mean, the markup that they could make could be considerable, but that's definitely a cause for concern. The other one is that the SPACs have just really fallen out of favor, and Lots is definitely in that camp. But as long as investors kind of look at SPAC stocks and turn up their nose, I think that it's going to be a bit of a struggle to get Lots to move up. So there's a lot of risk here. Also, it just broke below a pretty key support, and so that there's also this opportunity for it to maybe even come down a little bit further. Made the case to Fat Man Zoom that I could see this coming down to at least 515 as it now has broken that support. So there's definitely some downside risk to Lots for sure.
Yeah, so the bull case, I think there's some significant things going on. Let's start with first just talking about what we're looking for in stocks. To be clear, this is incredibly speculative.
Yes.
And with that becomes high reward, but there's also high risk. So we're going to lay out our strategy after I give this bull case. But the thing is that, like, we've talked about profitability and what it means to a publicly traded stock when it goes from not profitable to profitable.
Yeah.
And even when it just shows the path to profitability. And so if with upcoming earnings, if it could show that path to profitability, I think that bodes well for the company. There's not a lot of short interest on the stock, even though there's a potential. I think this isn't why we buy a stock, but what could happen is there's some talks around it being potentially a meme stock.
Yeah.
It could have that push. I'm not getting into it for that. If that happens, that's just icing on the cake.
Yes.
There is a chip shortage, which new car companies are talking about, or automotive companies are trying to sort of quell concerns, and they're saying that, oh, it's coming back, it's not that big of a deal. But the reality stands, there is still a chip shortage. That bodes well for used cars.
Yep.
And this is more of a shorter term trade. I would say in the next 3 months, we hope to be in and out of this stock. So I think that's the case. I think that it is holding up fairly well technically. So it's worth it for me to try it out. But most importantly, the company is moving, and I like the strategy they're employing and their growth strategy. They announced 3 hubs that are coming in California, in Colorado, and Missouri, which I think is huge for them and shows to their growth potential. And their headquarters in Richmond is expanding as well. Why would you expand? Because business is good.
Yep.
And opportunity is there. So when we look for a stock, guys, it's about overall sentiment, maybe a little bit bearish, but us trying to find these opportunities when we think maybe it's a little bit overdone. And I do believe car lots, there's the bearish position is well-founded, but I think it's a little bit overblown.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to take a chance, I think this is an opportunity to take a chance. Talk about where we need to get in, because we're going to get in now. But like we always say, especially with the speculative plays, we never just go all in. We scale in, we scale out. Talk about the scale-in strategy we're talking about.
Before I do that real quick, I did want to just agree with you that I feel like the price point is a bit of a joke with a market cap of $600 million. And a company like this, especially in the environment of used cars, I think that there's definitely lots of opportunity here. And to that end, as I was mentioning before, 515 could definitely be an area in which I think may be a potential for this to come back down to. If it breaks through that, then you're talking about maybe $5 or even $4.91 looks to be here. So I would be surprised if we saw that number, but even if you just wanted it, if you just wanted to have a starter, I think it stands to reason that maybe you could just grab it, and then if grab a starter, then scale in into weakness. I think that I'm going to hold off on that a little bit and maybe see if it comes back to retest 550 at least, and put an order in for 550 to see if I get filled.
Okay, so you're going to put an order in 550.
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to buy it right now.
Ooh.
I'm going to do a market order. I'm not worried about pennies.
Yeah.
I will see if it tests 515, but I'm going to put a small starter because I want to be in it. And also, I don't want to wait around. I want you guys, I already see some of you guys getting into it, and I want to be in with you because I'm a man of the people.
Vinay is knee deep in lots at 485.
That's awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, Vinay. So a full position, my goal, this is for the public account. My full position, my max position, if I wanted to get there, would be $1,500. And so typically a starter for me would be a third, so it'd be $500. If it's speculative like this one is, I'm looking for around $300 to $400. I'm not even getting into a full starter, because if it gets below that 550, I'll just do like potentially a quick ad.
Yeah.
But let's just see if it's at 560. I'll get 75 shares of this bad boy to start.
That's not bad. I might do that. I can do that now.
I can convince him.
Lots.
I knew I convinced. You see what I did, guys?
Yeah.
I peer pressured him. I said, was it the part where I said, because you guys are getting in and I'm a man of the people, I'm getting in with you?
Yeah, because fuck you. I'm not letting you get one over on me on that like that.
No, they already know. You guys already know. This story always stays the same. Am I right, people? You guys have been here for 4 community buys now. You know who's committed to the cause and who's not. He might get in, but do you know what the next title of the clip will be on Thursday? Mark my words. The clip for Thursday will be, I got bad news, guys. I bought out. I sold out. He ain't even going to make it into second position.
I will.
He sold out. And he's going to give me some story about how Spirit looks so good, and I wanted to free up some capital. And you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be sitting tight.
I'm into lots.
And for the record,
560 is my average.
good job. We knew we'd get you there. Paper hands.
Yes, I am Paper Hands Portnoy.
What's up, Mercer? Mercer's in the house.
Hell yeah, Mercer Knowlton. Holy shit, bro. Good to see you, man. Hey, I miss editing. I miss you editing our videos too. But hey, we got a good guy in here. His name's Jeff Chow. I know he's watching. Hit him up. He's got he's pretty talented in that regard too.
I want to know from
Good to
you
see you, man.
guys. Let me know. Do you think Brad actually holds on to this thing? Who gets out of this first? I think what's going to happen is we either get out of this together or you get out first. I won't get out before you. What do you guys think? Who gets out first? The easiest question you're going to have all day.
I'm not even going to fight it.
What were they? I want to run it back. Zynga
Yeah, I made money on it.
got out early. MGM was a group buy, right?
Was it?
Was it not? Guys, you can
Might have
help me
been.
out with this
Might have
one.
been.
Was Drive Shack a group buy?
Callaway was a group buy.
Callaway was
that I
a good-
definitely sold out way too early on.
I did good on that. I did really well on it.
We
and I
both sold
still
out early.
early. Yep. Yeah, MGM was I thought MGM was a group buy.
It might have been.
Yeah, I think the question isn't whether Brad will get out early. I think it's the over-under on how long he'll last. Will he make it to Stockwatch Sunday? The over-under is...
I'll definitely make it a Stockwatch Sunday.
The over-under is July 15th. July 15th.
July 15th? Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, how long do these community buys last? We've never really like come up with.
I think we do it for a quarter because if that's four community
quarter?
buys a year.
Okay,
Max a quarter.
I can commit to a quarter.
You can commit to a
I'll
whole
commit
quarter?
to a quarter. Yes.
Now, what if you scale in and then it tanks? Well, I mean, I'm getting out no matter what if it goes below the all-time low. Like, I'll be out.
406. Yeah.
I'll be out. But, like, yeah, if you're full position, as a starter, you can hold on to a starter for 3 months, but can you hold on to a full position? What's your full position?
My full position would be probably
30,000?
no more, no more than 5% of my portfolio here. So I would say, let's see, how much do I have right now? I have 0.5% right now. So I got
What's
some.
your,
I got
what's your
some
full
room
account?
to,
What's your account?
for almost 40,000 is the Webull
So
account.
$2,000.
Yeah, so 2,000
Okay.
bucks. I think that's pretty good because if it goes off, that's a hell of a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take that.
This could double.
Yeah.
That's the other thing we did last time. We didn't. So scaling down, I'm going to look for the bounce around 515, which is over a 10% loss, which I'm fine with. That's a red zone. And then below 5, I'll be full position. And then I'm going to be out, stopped out, or I'm going to make money and I'll hold on to it.
Yep.
On the way up, break over 6 is probably where I would add to it.
Yeah, and if it doubles, I will be selling and just keeping house money in that thing, and then
Yeah.
I can ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to average up if it goes over $6, and I'll probably do it fairly quickly and just set my stop on 6 because I'm not going to. If it goes up, I'm not going to ride it back down.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. There you go, guys. Community buy. You've been asking for it. We've delivered. Let us know what you got in at it. If you're already in, how that's going for you. But we'll keep checking in on that from time to time. Definitely, maybe it'll just be a part of Stockwatch Sunday. We just give updates on our community buy.
Also, want to reinforce the fact that this doesn't mean that you have to buy it, and that there is inherent risk. I know we've said it during this whole thing.
Yeah,
But this is not financial
us too.
advice. Yes, it just means us too, right? This community right here. If anybody else happens to buy it, so be it. We're just
Yeah, you can do what you want with your account.
yeah. We're not pushing your buy button.
Digital host said we should have all just bought more pen. Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got so much damn pen.
I got too much of that shit.
But I know one day we're gonna be wearing our pen hoodies. I'm not
telling you.
dusting that thing off until pen goes above $100.
$200. I'm buying a Porsche.
Too late to give us non-financial advice. Life is risk. Jeff Panika got 500 shares at 560. Jeff Chow got 200 shares at 560. Nice. Hopefully, there's some unusual volume that people notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just kidding. This isn't a pump and dump, people. So next topic, we're going to talk about crypto.
Yes.
So there's some interesting conversation around crypto because we've been talking about where attention lies, and we brought up crypto like a couple weeks ago where we basically said, hey, listen, while everybody's talking about meme stocks, we're looking for the next opportunity.
Yeah.
And attention moved away from crypto, and we believe that attention was coming back and it would come roaring back. And so we talked about, hey, maybe consider it. But I mean, Bitcoin fell below 30K. And Ethereum got almost to $1,000. And so we talked about that. And it looks like the attention is starting to come back into crypto, which is good. But there's also this competing news that could be bearish, which is essentially you got the crackdown in China on Bitcoin miners. And recently, I think this just came out yesterday, it was the news. I just lost it. Oh, what was it? Was it UK? Oh, it was the Binance news.
Yes, the Binance. Yeah.
So Binance.com can still operate, but there's like a separate arm of Binance where because they did not basically follow through with all the requirements for filings, and it's essentially against anti-money laundering, the UK government just said you can't operate in the UK. And so we're seeing more governments who are cracking down. And we talked about this could possibly happen. What are your thoughts on that? Because we do have bullish and bearish that are both really strong.
Yeah.
And where do you stand with it? Because I know, I'm in Ethereum. I've added to Bitcoin, but I know you've been thinking about it. Does it change your position on wanting to get in?
I don't think it does. And actually, I downloaded the Binance app. I'm actually surprised, honestly, Fatman Zoom, about how UK is taking the lead on this. Usually the US is so regulatory with finance and stuff ever since the Patriot Act back in 2000. That's really kind of what started all the pattern date trader rules and everything else. And then this just kind of seems to like not matter to them a whole lot, which is very surprising. I don't think it's going to matter too much for crypto, and obviously it doesn't seem like it is right now. But I think that this is more or less just kind of a speed bump or what have you, a hurdle that needs to be jumped over, and I think it's just going to be business as usual. Mm-hmm. Either way, we've seen how volatile they can be, so any little piece of news seems to just kind of shake investors. So we'll see, but man, right now I'm looking at Ethereum. It's up 7% today after a 4% yesterday. And then Bitcoin's flat on the day right now after its 4.5% day yesterday. So things seem to be bouncing back, and it seems as if the Binance news is being just shaken off a little bit at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. You guys wouldn't shut up about every crypto asset that you were looking at 3 months ago. Now you don't even talk about Bitcoin or Ethereum. Jesus, it was just like, Bitcoin was at 65,000. And this is what I don't understand. This is what I do not understand, Brad. Why are you not screaming from the rooftops when it's at 35K, when it was at 65 and you thought it would go to 100? Do you not believe it's going to go to 100 anymore?
Right.
It's easy to say when it's moving. I'm going to calm down. I'm just going to bring it back a little bit.
I was going to let you go.
It's easy to say when it's running like, oh, it's going to go to 100K. But you really show your belief when Ethereum's at 2,000, you say, yeah, it's going to go to 5K. I believe Ethereum can go to 5K. And if I believe that, I'm going to buy at 2,000. I'm going to buy at 1,500. I'm going to be excited about that. Why aren't you guys screaming now? Don't come to me when it's back to 65K, because I'm just going to be like, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I'll call out all of you. So that's just my point. Get excited when it comes down. If you're not excited, it's either one of two things. You are not doing your due diligence, which is probably likely you haven't done your due diligence, or you're just going with the crowd.
Yep.
Neither one is good. So do your due diligence, find what you believe in, and scream from the rooftops.
It's never good to be a sheep.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that all the time.
So anyways, I'm really excited about this move. I am worried. I've always been worried about the regulatory crackdown around this stuff. But what's promising, though, is institutions have been buying Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And institutions run governments. That's the reality in my mind. They sway governments, and they'll find a way to make sure that this moves forward. Like, there's too much money tied in to Bitcoin with institutions that, especially the U.S. isn't gonna get rid of Bitcoin.
$1 trillion market cap on Bitcoin alone.
So I'm looking at this as a great opportunity, and it's showing strength, maybe sideways for a while, but were you planning on selling Bitcoin anytime soon?
Ethereum, I will say, has I was just looking at and we talked about this. Remember me talking about the 200-day moving average?
Mm-hmm.
And it
bouncing off of it?
Yeah, it's having a hell of a bounce right off of it. And it remains to be seen if this continues, but I think this is a really good sign of strength from Ethereum, especially. coming down and retesting that 200-day moving average. I was talking about the 200-day moving average when it was at $4,300. I said, it's all the way down here. I'm not saying that it's going to come down to that, but there's a possibility. And sure enough, it did. But I love the fact that this is bouncing off of that moving average. And, Bitcoin still has yet to get back up over its 200-day. But it's getting close. It's getting closer and closer to that mark. And I think that, if Bitcoin gets back up over that anytime soon, it should get really fun, I think. And this is on the daily chart, guys, so just keep that in mind. So I'm looking at this and looking at this 200-day moving average, and it's still all the way up to around 43,800, give or take. But Ethereum, man, just from a technical perspective, it looks really, really good. Love to see this bounce out of it.
So which one are you going to buy and when?
I think Ethereum is good.
Community buy Bitcoin?
No.
One share, everybody.
Community buy Ethereum, I think, could be a good one. I think that if Ethereum comes and retests like 2,300 and holds up over that level, I think I would consider getting some.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sitting tight with my Ethereum. I've gotten enough. I added on the pullback in addition to my dollar cost average.
Yeah.
I would get more, but I just want to see how it plays out. But if it moves back to 4,000, I'm in a really good position. I think my average is like 1,000 on it or something.
I'm also curious to see what our guest is going to say about this too.
Yeah.
It's coming up on Thursday.
Community buy Dogecoin.
Hell no.
I would buy Cardano before I bought Dogecoin.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cardano has a lot of potential. I mean, it's already moved a lot, but
yeah. My average is 1K only because I averaged up. My average, initially had before I added it to 2,500, I was at I think I was at $700. It was like $700 because I got in 600, added again at 780 or something in it.
Yeah.
Or 750, and it was averaged around 700. I had a great average. That's the other thing is I hate when I have a great average and I know it's I'm looking at the chart, I'm like, this could be good, but I just like that $700 average.
It is a little painful to move that average up.
Cosmos people, Cosmo crypto, altcoin. Nobody's talking about that yet, but I think you will.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
I think that's all I got too. It's a little bit of a slow day.
How many people we got in the house?
Just over 100. And I don't know if maybe it's because YouTube hasn't sent out notifications or what, but it's a little bit of a low number for us.
Make sure you guys hit the like on the way out the door. We got live stream Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be chatting about what's going on in the market. Guys, come back, hit that notification bell to make sure you're notified, and we will see you in the next live stream. You got anything?
See you tomorrow, guys. That's going to do it for me and Fat Man Zoom. Hit that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already, please do so.
Bye.
Bye.
I quit this bitch.